So the other day we got the body on the car, but we didn't tighten down the mounting bolts because we were kind of running out of time. And I looked into the Haynes shop manual for the 76, or actually it's C3s, and there's no torque spec for body mounts. Now, I seem to remember it being 50 foot-pounds on my 74 for some reason. I did that like 10 years ago, so don't trust my memory on this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go by the general specs for by size of bolt. And this is the bolt, which appears to be a 7/16. I'm guessing it's 14 threads per inch. But if I zoom in on 7/16, 14, and go across, it's 40 to 55 foot-pounds, and that would be right in that range. And even if it was 7/16/20, it's 40 to 60, again right within that range. So that's what I'm going to use, and I am going to tighten the bolts kind of like you would a head, where you start towards the center and work your way out. I'm not going to do what you do with a head, and that's torque them in like 3 steps. I don't believe this is that critical. So I'm going to start with the rear quarter panel, I guess you'd call it, area. Rear wheel is here. It's right in front of it. And this is where we took covers off to get to these things. And we didn't show it, at least not closely, so this is what the cover was. There's 4 small bolts. The first thing I'm going to do is I'll use the electric ratchet here to get in there and just bring them down snug. And I don't know if I'm actually on the bolt. Now I'm on the bolt. Okay, so I've got that done. As tight as this ratchet will take it, I'm going to go get the torque wrench and take it to 50 foot-pounds. So I've got the torque wrench set at 50 foot-pounds. Hopefully I'll have enough swing in this to actually get some clicks. It's 1 click on the ratcheting action. And there's the click for 50 foot-pounds. Next thing I'm going to do is, not sure you're going to be able to see it too well, but I'm too lazy to move the camera for one little, or actually not move the camera, but change the height of the lift to 1 bolt over here. May not be on the bolt. And not. Okay, there's the bolt. Okay, my helper got it pretty tight when he put it on, so just gonna torque it. There's 50 foot-pounds. Back to the other side. And I'm sure this isn't going to be able to be seen, but I probably should take the camera off the tripod and show you where it's located and what I'm doing. And that will be the second front one. I went from the right in front of the rear wheel to behind the front wheel on the other side. And now I'm going to go directly across the car behind the front wheel, actually right in front of the passenger door, to get on the other side to, as I said, do it kind of like you would do a head. So here we are as if we were getting in the car on the passenger side, and we're looking back out toward the outside, and I cannot tell at all whether you're seeing that. So I'm going to put it back on the tripod, lower the lift, and can I do it here? Maybe I can zoom in on the driver's side from here. Let's check it out. See that hole there in the where the kick panel would be. It's right over there, right by the door jamb. That's where I'm tightening it. That bolt is right inside that pocket there. So I'm not going to video it from the other side. Okay, I'm going to assume that my son tightened it down pretty good when he put them on the other day. So I'm just going to go right to the torque wrench here, because that's what I used on the other side. Yeah, that was a pretty good assumption. We'll need to use the electric ratchet to tighten them. This is an awkward angle for me to be trying to torque this, so there it is, 50 foot-pound. Now, I'm going to go over to the other side, and I'm probably going to have to take the wheel off in order to do that, but this panel's going to go back in here like this, and before I put it on, I'm going to just clean this up a little bit, put some RTV in here so that water won't leak into it. So that's not exciting. I'm not going to video it, except maybe just the final bolting it. Okay, got it all cleaned up and RTV on it. Those bolts just are long enough to catch the clips. They're the type of spring clips that you put around a piece of sheet metal, and then that holds it in place. So these are 5/16 if I recall. I'll just go get a nut driver and drive those in. I'm probably going to get in the way as I tighten this mount, or attempt to tighten it. Try to shift this just a little bit so at least you can see it before I get in the way. This is the front mount passenger side. That is an 11/16. On top is the 5/8. So I'm going to have to probably get 2 wrenches in there. Let's see if I can get it started with just my fingers on top. Okay, so that's run up with the power socket, power ratchet. I don't know whether or not I can turn the bottom nut without moving the top bolt. Again, this is, you know what I need here? An extension that will get me below this, and then that way I'll be able to get a good swing on it. There, that long extension gives me the ability to make a big swing with the wrench. Gotta make sure I'm not spinning the top. So far it's not spinning. Let's see what happens. Doesn't seem to be spinning. Could have done with an even longer extension to get me past the headers here. See if I can feel if it's turning. Nope, it didn't turn. So now I've done that one. The next one is going to be to go to the rear on the driver's side. This was the front passenger side, so I'm going to go back there. Okay, I don't know how tight my helper did this one. And he might be in a little bit of trouble because he didn't ask me where to route this wire. And I think it should have been toward the back here. I can see it when I move it right here. I think I'm going to have to cut those fittings off anyways. So maybe it's not too big of a deal. The reason I have to cut those fittings is because there's no light fitting on the other side. So this wire is going to get cut somewhere. I hope you can see that. That wire is going to get cut anyway, so I guess he's okay. I don't know how tight he made this, and if you've been following along, he didn't make it very tight, he just got it started. If you've been following along this whole project, this is the mount where when I took it off, the bolt broke, and I had to basically the cage nut inside the body broke, and I epoxied it on just to get it so that I could start the bolt from underneath. So I may or may not get this to 50 foot-pounds, depending on how strong that epoxy bond is. Okay, that should be fairly close to 50, because that wrench is capable of something like 40 or 45, 44. So I'm going to stick the torque wrench on it, and hopefully we'll get to 50. If not, it may have to do it. It is tight, semi-tight anyways. So it's going to be tight enough. Feels like it's about ready to, the torque wrench is about ready to click. Feels like more than 50 pounds. There it is, 50. So my epoxy idea worked and it held. I got the full torque on it. That's definitely a win. Now, I got another one on the other side, same area. We'll zoom in a little bit closer on the bolt this time. There it is right there. almost 100% certain that one's not anywhere close to 50. So we're going to hit it with the power ratchet first, and then finish it with the torque wrench. So we're going across the car to the other side, and then the last one's going to be the front driver's side. Okay, I'm not going to video the last one on the driver's side because you've seen that. It's just a repeat of what I did on the passenger side. And unless there's something that goes on, like I need to use a wrench on the top, which if I do, it's going to be tough because holding with the top with one hand and the torque wrench with the other probably is not going to be the easiest thing. Well, live and learn. As I was walking over to do this driver's side front mount, my son just barely had this on and it was sticking down. And I saw it from here. So there's a much easier way to tighten this thing on. All you need is a little extension and your 13/16 socket, or I'm sorry, 11/16 socket. It just seemed to have, there it is. It's on the, I'm wondering if I don't even need it with this extension, but at least for the power ratchet, I probably don't need it because I'm not required to spin it. Now, that worked fine with the power ratchet, but for the torque wrench, I need to have some room to swing the ratchet. I'm going to lower this a little bit to give myself a little better leverage, because when I was doing the back ones, it was above my shoulders and I couldn't get 50 pounds worth of leverage very easily. But with this one, I'm going to put it down a little bit to where I'm going to move this out of the way a little bit. You can't really see the nut, but take my word for it. It's right up there. I'll be able to get my torque wrench on it and have a nice swing to tighten it. That was easy. So they may have designed this to make it easier to get to that body mount. I don't know, but sure worked today. So I think that's about it for the body mounts, except for and it'll be another day. But when I put the support for the front end on, but I'm going to do what work I can do underneath the nose before I put all that stuff in my way. So that's going to be it for the body, at least for a while. The next thing is probably going to be some of the transmission stuff.